1932, protecting the future of working families, Teamsters, 1932.org.
Welcome to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show, where we talk about food, fashion, finance, and foundations of life. We are live on KCAA Radio Broadcasting Network, 1050 AM, 102.3 and 106.5 FM. KCAA is affiliated with CNBC, NBC News, and NBC Sports. We are sponsored by Sheltered Studios, Fire Up Connect, and Building Solid Foundation.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the Fabulous Lifestyle Show. I'm your host, Cornelius Bryant, and I'm here with my special guest and actually my facilitator for my company, The Renaissance Man, Evelyn Piero.
Hello, thank you so much for having me here. It's an honor.
Well, thank you. Well, you know, everybody knows it's almost Valentine's Day, and so that's coming up. So our show today, we're going to talk about Valentine's Day, of course. We're going to talk about emotions, love, romance, and food. And so before we get started, actually, some of you may recognize her from last year when we did the show outside because the engineer had came down with COVID. So you say, oh, she seems familiar, and this is her. So now we're finally in studio, and so tell us about yourself.
So my name is Evelyn, and I graduated from California Baptist University with a undergrad in psychology, and since then I've been working with at-risk youth. So I do a lot of mental health mentoring and help the youth, teaching them coping skills. So I really am. I love this segment that we're going to have today because it does talk a lot about, just feelings and, with Valentine's, there's a lot of feelings attached. And currently I work with a foster care adoption agency. So I'm definitely around a lot of emotions, with a lot of people.
Right, right. And so, like you said, that builds a foundation. Even like you say, the kids you're working with, I'm sure they're glad to have you. But for us personally, does that affect you? Have you seen these kids, especially in these different situations, and you say especially foster kids. So you have all these kids that go back and forth through the system, and you look at them, you think, wow. And they look for the parents, and they'll see kids with parents, and, when they go to school and come back.
Yeah, it is hard to just, be able to listen to the story and, it's once you're there, you have to start helping them, emotionally with their behaviors. But it is very difficult just listening to all the different stories and them going through things so young, things that kids should never have gone through. So yeah, it's definitely a rewarding job because when, they go through your program and they're able to graduate, with a whole different mentality. They do like 180, they're like a whole different kid. So it's a very rewarding job for sure.
Right, and that's part of how we became, we got to know each other because it's the same thing I do, even though like a lot of time it may be for adults, but a lot of time what we find out is that adults are simply those kids or those people who grew up. And so they still have the same emotional things that they need to deal with, and they're still learning themselves and trying to figure out, determine like who really cares for them and who don't. And so that's similar to what we'll talk about today, even with Valentine's Day. Like, okay, what do we do? Who really cares for them? Then the different emotions that goes with it. It's like anything else. Some people love Valentine's Day, and other people are like, "Oh, I can't stand when Valentine's Day come around. I don't want to see no candy. I don't want this. I don't want that." And it just, it's sad for them.
Right.
And so, everything's like, okay, you have all these things. It's similar to what you do all the time. So now here we are with the kids who grew up. Some of us love it. Some of us don't.
Right.
And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And give us just a little basic idea, like what emotions people go to, like with Valentine's Day.
So one thing that I was thinking about when I was asked this question, everyone is in a different stage in their life, like different seasons. So depending on, let's say if someone is single, they're going to feel maybe sad, lonely.
Right.
They're going to feel like there's something missing, so that's a normal feeling when it's Valentine's Day because they see everyone around them going out with their significant other and having a blast, getting all these special treatment. But there's also singles who go to like a Galentine's. Have you heard of a Galentine's?
Never.
So Galentine's is usually when you bring all your girlfriends together and you just celebrate Valentine's Day with all your girlfriends. So this is usually for ladies who don't have like a significant other, and it's just like a time for them to just take pictures, eat together, talk. So it brings some positivity if you are single, and if you're hoping, to do something for Valentine's.
Oh, I guess that's something new.
Yeah,
So-
it's
so-
something. Yeah, I feel like it's like maybe a millennial thing.
Okay.
So it's definitely not something that's been, out there for many years. But I know ever since I've grown up, it's the Galentine's. It's not about the guy anymore. It's about you just hanging out with your girlfriends. So that kind of helps with,
Oh, so that's what the gal is, like gals.
yeah,
girls.
Galentine's.
Oh, okay, all right. So, what about the men? What do they do? Have like a men in term, or
You know
what
what?
happens
That's
for the
actually a
lonely
good
men?
question because I haven't heard of like men just getting together for Valentine's when they're single, but they actually should. They can go out if their thing is to go shooting or just go, go eat together. Because I think there's plenty of single men out there who should also, try to do something like that together as a group. But I actually have not heard of guys doing that, but. That's a really good point because they should.
I don't know. See, that's the difference between being a gal in time and being a man. Now, men, if a bunch of men get together, so we're gonna get together on Valentine's Day to keep from being lonely and all that stuff, then it gives a whole different
Yes.
perspective for the men getting together to keep from being lonely. It's like, what are you guys doing? It's like, what are you guys really doing?
Right,
And so
right.
from one gender to the next gender, things are different of what you can do and what you can get away with, and just your thought process. Like men that I know of, if they do get together, oh yeah, their thought process is, oh, forget Valentine's Day. Yeah, I'm not gonna go spend any money, but let's get together and go drinking or whatever.
Right.
It's not, oh, let's get together because we're lonely and.
Yeah, it's like
You
the
know,
the
it-
mind shift. Like they make
Right.
it into something positive because it's if they gather around, oh, because we're sad and lonely and we don't have anyone, that makes it not fun, because you're just thinking of the negative. But if you look at it through that perspective, where we're all single, let's all hang out, let's all have fun, it changes, the negativity attached to it, when you're single on Valentine's.
So the men, we have to come up with a more masculine word for it. We can't say, oh, we're lonely and sad. Nobody wants us. We got to go, yeah,
Right.
yeah, we're hanging out because we don't do that stuff. Yeah, we're not going to go out and spend all of our money on somebody for a day. So you switch it up.
Right. Yeah, and some guys I feel they might be negative about it, like, oh, we're single, so we're just gonna like hang out and do this instead. I mean, I feel like they might be able to be like, okay, well, we're single now, but that's not going to be forever. And we can just enjoy the time we have with, like, us guys because that's not going to be the reality, when they get married and have kids, because then when you're married and have kids, you don't have that much time,
So
to
now-
spend with your friends.
Now on Valentine's Day, you have to spend it with her.
Yes, exactly. So it's something I feel like they could be hopeful as well because there's something they can look forward to in the future. Like, for example, when you're single and you're not married, you have no kids, you have a lot of time to do whatever you want. If you want
Right.
to travel on the weekend and drop everything, drop work, you can. But when you have a family and kids, that's a little bit difficult to do, because you have responsibilities, priorities, and, so it's like they should definitely take advantage of the time they have now that they're single and see it as something positive, then connect it to like the negativity which is like, being single on Valentine's.
Right. Uh-huh. Yeah, I know a lot of guys or even people. Now we're not going to say guys 'cause these days the women are just as bad as the men. When Valentine's Day roll around, oh, they break up with her. I'm gonna break up with her. That way I can save myself some money and all this stuff. But I be thinking, well, wow, that's kind of strange. You're gonna be with her, and then when Valentine's come, you're gonna break up with her. When Valentine's over, you're gonna get back with her. It goes, how does she let you come back and forth like that?
Do guys do
isn't it?
that?
Well,
That's terrible.
I'm just saying. That's what I heard.
Oh, wow.
That's what I heard that guy say. That way it saves them money.
Really?
but
That
what if-
sounds very immature on the guy's part.
Right, right. But see, what about the women who's juggling different men? How do you figure out who
Oh,
you're going to
okay.
spend Valentine's with? You know,
Oh,
so
because
now,
I'm sure there's women out there who have more than one date, right?
right.
Maybe they don't celebrate on the day of, but maybe they're dating around, I guess. But it
Uh,
is different, right? It's like a different perspective for like women.
it
Um,
is.
and for women, maybe someone does ask you out and maybe she has been seeing someone but she's not too sure about him, so maybe someone else ask her out who might be a potential partner.
Mm.
So I would agree with her, going out with both to see, okay, which one do I click with the most, because you're not going to
Mm.
click with everyone. And it's not like they're making it official yet. They're just getting to know each other, because that's the dating phase, right? It's just like getting to know each other, and you might have to date a few guys, to get to like the right
Ah,
one. But also it's good to not waste anyone's time, not just like, oh, I'm gonna say yes to all these guys so they can buy me things, because I feel like that's wrong at that point when you're just using someone, to
right,
get stuff and to have the princess treatment.
right. So if a guy's involved with someone and he doesn't know he's just a potential and he think he's the man, and so now she has another one who's okay. This guy is offering me Jack in the Box. We'll talk about food part later. This guy is offering me Jack in the Box, and this guy is offering to take me something really special. So when she goes with the other guy and the guy who's offering Jack in the Box, he just think, wow, there's something going on here because all of a sudden you don't have time for me on Valentine's Day. So then should they all assume then that when the women say they can't go, that's why, because they have a big pick of who they're going to do it with, and you're at the bottom of the list?
I mean, a lot of girls, there is comparison.
Right,
It's like if your friend who has like a boyfriend, she gets treated like a princess. Well, that that's out there. Like that could be you too. So it depends on the guy that you pick. If you pick someone, I mean, some guys might not have like the best jobs, so that's might be all they could afford.
okay,
But then it's like, can you afford a girlfriend or a spouse? If you can only afford Jack in the Box. Um, but let's say that the girl gets wine and dined with this guy, who really is respectful. He is pretty much everything what she wants. But then this other guy who, he's like, okay, well, I guess let's just go to Jack in the Box, as an example. She's gonna be like, well, what? Looking in the future, what would I want? I feel like every girl might pick like the wine and dined kind of guy, because he called to make a reservation. The other guy didn't, because you don't have to make a reservation at Jack in the Box.
right.
I know that's just an
So
example.
it's the thought that goes into it that's important
Yes,
too, not just the material things.
exactly, because it's not all about like materialistic things, but also it's like what kind of effort is he putting into it. If he really wants to impress her, he's gonna go all out and impress her. And that's important, especially during a Valentine's. It's like how
Right.
how big can you make it? And it's not even about how big is the thought that counts.
Okay. So now let's reverse it. What about the guy who's always taking the girls out and spending money doing these nice things for them? What do they get in return? So should they have the same mindset? Okay, can you take me out? Can you wine and dine me and do these nice things for me? And if you can't, you may be the best one out of the pick. Everything else lines up, but your finances don't allow you to be able to do that. Should that person now says, okay, instead of me going with you, Mary, Laura and Jane are in a better position financially to take care of me. Like you say, the future, you're still looking to the future, right? And
Right.
so for is being able to achieve things and accomplish things in the future, if you can't do this for me now, then you're crossed off the list. So now I have to go to these other women, even though for as everything else goes, you're more, let's say, qualified. You're more suited. Your personality, your everything about you is better. But they have finances, but they're not really good. But they have the money, but their attitude's bad and everything's bad about them. So when men make that choice, then it's a whole different perspective, or the way they feel about men doing it has about when women do it. So that's like a double standard.
Yeah, I can see that flipped around, because it's like, how would the men pick a spouse? If they are looking for a spouse, is it financial? Is it, you know, economic status or education? I feel like my perspective on men is that they want to be providers. It's like, can they provide for a family? That's their end goal, is to get married. Not everyone's goal is that, but also it depends on the person too. For example, me, I'm looking for someone who is a man of God, who's a provider, who's masculine. I don't want to be the breadwinner of my home, But that's just me and my religious beliefs, and I'm conservative in that way. But there are some people who might not be looking for, a spouse. They might not even care about marriage. So maybe they might pick the person who has a better financial situation, because it's like, well, they can travel together, they can do more things, and maybe they don't even want to have kids. So I think it definitely depends on that person and what their goal is. And maybe the woman, maybe she doesn't have the financial stability, but maybe she wants to be a homemaker and she wants to take care of the children at home.
Okay. All right. We're going to pick this up on the other side of our break. We'll be back in a few minutes.
You're listening to Fabulous Lifestyle Radio. I'm your host, Ricky Perry, and we are affiliated with CNBC, NBC News, and Sports, where we broadcast to over 5 million households in the greater Los Angeles area. If you missed our previous shows, you can watch us on our streaming networks on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick, and the Android app.
Looking to attract your target market without soliciting or doing the cold calling? Call Marie Wade and book your consultation. Branding gives you the power to create a unique and classy perception of your business for your target audience. A marketing plan without the right branding will always cost more, take longer, and tend to deliver subpar results compared to a well-branded business. Marie Wade is a branding strategist who formulates effective marketing and media programs to promote your business in building your name, brand, and legacy. Marie has over 10 years of experience and a proven record of creating strong brand content for business owners, entrepreneurs, and companies using her creative ideas, recommendations, and innovative programs. Book now at mariewade.com or call her at 951-378-5316, 951-378-5316.
This is Steve Matley. Join me every Thursday at 3 p.m. right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations radio talk show. I spent decades as a professional construction manager, business owner, real estate developer, and a college educator, and I enjoy learning new things from other people. We talk a lot about real estate, business, and finance, but we cover a diverse range of other topics as well. Some of the topics we've discussed in the past few months include real estate investing, leadership, higher education, ADUs, marketing using technology, multifamily rental property, business strategy, entrepreneurship. You never know who may show up or what they may talk about. So join us right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations Radio.
Hey guys, it's Damon, Mr. Foxy, Damon Hart, and I'm here with the Real Men of Real Estate. And I just want to say, hey, come and watch us this Sunday, 1 p.m. live, every Sunday. Okay, we're going to be on KCAA Radio, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM. If you got a minute, just tune in. We can't wait to have you here. I'm going to be there. If you can't make it on there, we're going to be at Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, or Android app on Building Solid Foundations channel. So tune in. You know what you got to do in the meantime. Keep it fast.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome back to the Fabulous Lifestyle Show. I'm your host, Cornelius, and I'm here with my special guest, Evelyn.
Hello.
So when we went to break, we were talking about, like different ways men and women feel about receiving gifts and doing all these things. But let's talk about this briefly. Some people, they hate Valentine's Day because their spouse may have passed or the significant other passed, or a lot of times people have had bad relationships. Mm-hmm. So, not one, not two, not three, but many bad relationships. Mm-hmm. So now their attitude is, I'll never trust anybody or do anything like that again. So let's talk about that for a moment.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some people are excited about Valentine's Day that we were talking about
Right.
earlier, but some people, like you said, a spouse passed away or they have been broken up with, or it's a day that is focused on love, on, just wining and dining your significant other or just spending time with them. So yeah, definitely there might be like grief attached to Valentine's Day
Right.
for them, loneliness, sadness, just they might hate the day. They're like, no, I don't. They're not looking forward to the date to come.
Right.
So it's yeah, there's definitely a lot of negativity also. It could be on one side of the spectrum where you're super happy, and on the other side of the spectrum where you hate the day.
Hate the day.
So it's important when you are feeling sad, identifying what is it that like I hate this so much or I dislike this day so much. And then when you kind of identify like, okay, this is what triggers me, that's when you can find coping mechanisms. Maybe if you don't have your spouse, maybe spend time with your family. Maybe make a dinner at home with your whole family, and that's going to bring like happiness to you. Maybe you have anxiety around that day, practice some deep breathing, coping skills, practice drawing, something that maybe they like to go swimming or really any activity that brings
Right.
joy to them, because anything can be a coping skill, just anything that they enjoy. Maybe they like cooking, they like going to the movies, so they can definitely find their coping skill that's going to help them because they don't want to be attached. They don't want the negativity to be attached forever.
Right, right. I think some people say, I know what my source of anxiety is at Valentine's Day, John, or I know what my is Susie. Because a lot of times what I found, especially because I'm quite older, is that some people, they hold on to things 20, 30 years. They're mad about all this. They don't, and all this, and the relationship. I hate Valentine's Day. I hate this. Why? Oh, because that's when my person dogged me out or whatever. I goes, wow, when was that? Oh, back in 1984.
Oh
84?
wow, that's
So
many years.
right. So part of the coping skills is a mental thing too.
Right,
Your
right.
mindset, because you can hold on to things for so long, and it just eats away at you, and it just stops you from being able to do anything positive in the future, for as relationships go at all. And it's everything. And you see every person, you get with them, and then they'll do some. Oh, yeah, you doing just like that person. Oh, I can't stand you now. So now you're suffering from the other person. 'Cause what are you talking about? Oh, that's the same thing they did. What did they do? What did they do? And they don't have a
Right.
clue. And so that brings a lot of anxiety in the relationship for both people. So now you got to sit there and, oh, what did I do? Coaching, and going back
Yeah.
and forth with it. So let's talk about for a minute the difference between men and women when it comes to like Valentine's Day, or what we perceive as a good Valentine's Day versus a bad Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a bad Valentine's Day would be you're so excited. You're like, what is he planning for me? You're expectant, you're hopeful. Like, I'm so excited to see what he has planned. Maybe he forgot, or maybe he's like, oh, we're just going to, I need to work that day, so I can't take the day off, So
Right.
that could be considered a bad Valentine's Day because you were so excited about something, that didn't come true. And I feel like that's when communication comes in. You have to communicate. I mean, you don't want to always have to tell them what to do, but it's like bring her flowers. Something as simple as that can really brighten up your day. And a good Valentine's Day would be, it's like you're excited for what's gonna come. You're like, okay, I want to go. I've been wanting to go to the restaurant forever, and you guys got finally like a place at the restaurant. So that'll be like a very exciting, happy Valentine's Day.
So it's important for not just the men. See, we keep putting everything on the men, but it's important for this person and the people in the relationship to listen to the other person. To
Yeah,
listen
exactly.
to them. That way you know what they want. They may not want to go to a fancy restaurant. They may not want to do that. They may want to do something else more personal, but you're doing that. And then they still may be like, oh, you bought me a necklace. You took me out to this restaurant, and they're still not happy. The reason being because you're basically doing what you want to do.
Right.
You're not doing what they want to do, so they don't really enjoy it. It's like, oh, well, you took me out for steak, and I don't eat steak.
Right, you're
So
like
you
a
took
vegan.
me, yeah, you took me to a steakhouse, but I don't eat steak. So you're not paying attention to me. You're not focused on me and what I like and my needs, and you're just following the crowd. You're just doing what everybody else do, just be doing something. So it's important to have that personal touch.
Right.
You know, to do things that they enjoy doing,
Mm-hmm.
and you take time as you're going and listen. Like a lot of times, you know, women are talk, you're talking, and we're going, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Selective hearing or not listening.
Not listening. But then a lot of times you have to realize too is you have to know the right time to talk. You know, it's like anything else. There's a time to talk about certain things. There's a time not to. So when a game is on, you know, you're watching the game. You're all into the game. And then they want to talk. He goes, now? And then they start talking, and you look at the game. You go, So you really haven't heard what they're saying. So that's why when
Right.
this time come around, you don't know what they like.
Right, right.
You know, so it's or like communication.
Yes,
know,
communication.
It's communication. You said that before. It's all about communicating. But you have to know what time is the best time to communicate something. Now, some people, they don't want to hear it, period. They never pay attention.
Right.
You know, so there's people who've been in marriages and relationships for years and years. And if you ask the person, oh, what's your wife's favorite color? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a red flag for sure.
You know, I don't know. What does she like to do? I don't know. What does she like to eat? I don't know. Then they go, well, why are you asking me? Because that's your wife or your
Right.
girlfriend. You've been
Should
with
be
them.
your best friend.
Right, right. So you should know these things. That way, when the time comes, you know how to really do something they enjoy. So that makes it really great for them. And it makes
Yes.
it good for you, too. Because if that person's really happy with you for what you've done, and then the attitude for the next year would be better. So when it rolls around again.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And like you said, they have to learn how to communicate, because if he doesn't want to get to know his wife, you know, and she doesn't want to get to know her husband, she's not going to know what he wants for Valentine's Day, or he's not going to know what she wants, you know. Maybe she's been trying to get to go, you know, to a certain place, you know. It
Right,
could be
right.
a restaurant or a painting place or whatever it can be, you know. So yeah, it's definitely important to know what they like, because what if like he takes her to a basketball game and she hates basketball? You know, he's really doing that for him because he wants to
Right,
watch the
right.
game, and you know, she's
But then
not
goes,
into.
oh, well, I took you to the game.
Right. It's like, oh, why aren't you happy if I took you out? You know, so it's definitely
Right.
important to know your significant other, ask them questions, you know, because that should be the closest person to you, you know, your best friend, the one that is with you all the time, you know, and
Right.
and I like that you brought that up, because it is important.
Right. It's even sometimes, like, even if you don't know, when it gets close to that time, you know, if you're sitting there watching TV or something and something come on TV, goes, oh, well, what do you think about that? You know, so you have time to
Right,
figure,
right.
oh, you don't like that? Oh, what about this? Are you passing by something? Oh, man. Yeah, what you think about this over here? Do you like this? You know, so
Yeah, you pick
you're-
up clues and you
Right.
try to like find out what they like. Because I know some people, they don't like the same thing forever, so they change. You know, they
Right,
like new
right.
things. So it's always important to continue getting to know your spouse all the time, because they change. You know, they're not gonna like
Right.
the same things forever.
Right. You know, that's important that you said that, because, you know, as a 20-year-old, when you first get together, the way you think at 30 is different at 20.
Right.
And
right.
as you get older and mature, your thoughts do change, especially
Mm-hmm.
women. Men, we basically stay the same. Okay, football game's on, I'm watching football. All right, basketball game's on, I'm watching basketball.
Mm-hmm.
This is on, I'm watching this. So we stay the same for the most part.
Right.
You know,
right.
but women, they're constantly changing, like evolving. You know, with each stage of life, there's something different. So you do have to take your time and focus on them. Like, okay, what season are you in this year? You know, but
Yeah,
you don't say it
exactly.
like that, because then you'll be in a lonely season. But yeah, you have to, as time go on, you have to constantly look at her and pay attention to find out how she's differed over the years. You know, of course, when
Yes.
you're young, you like a certain thing, and then you get older. I don't like that anymore. You know, but then
Yeah.
you goes, well, you used to always like this. Then they go, I've been like that in 20
Yeah.
years. You're going, what? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the focus and attention. That's really key with any type of relationship.
Right, right.
And especially like you say, with a relationship like Valentine's Day, because that's supposed to be a special love day.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to really be on it, because, you know, if your wife was a size 4 when you married her, and over the course of 20, 30, 40 years, what have you, now she's a size 12, she don't want chocolates like that.
Right.
She don't want you to bring that chocolate. Oh, why and just certain things, or if she was, whatever, now you know that she's dieting or she's on a workout program or something, you don't want to bring her stuff that's not pleasing to her.
Right, that she wants to know that you're listening to, like, oh, I don't eat these types of food. So if you bring her like what she's not supposed to eat, she's like, oh, you haven't listened to me this whole time, or you don't know, you haven't watched what I've been eating, for 3 months.
Right.
Yeah,
it's like, wow, just, then they just look at you, and now that's a fight. Because now no matter what I do, you're not satisfied, you're not happy. No matter what I do, you complain. No matter what I do, you're always saying something. No matter what I do, it's not good enough. Well, have you been paying attention? And she's telling you what she likes and doesn't like, but you're like, no. This is what you liked then, and this is what you're going to like now.
Right. And I like the 5 love languages. So there's this book by Gary Chapman who has these 5 love languages. So there is quality time, words of affirmation, physical touch, acts of service, and receiving gifts. So this is a great place to start.
I think we should go through each one. Let's do one by one.
Okay.
All right.
So let's do.
We got to make sure everybody understands.
Quality time.
Okay. We're going to do it on the other side of this break. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. This is the Fabulous Lifestyle Show with Cornelius and special guest Evelyn.
You're listening to Fabulous Lifestyle Radio. I'm your host, Ricky Perry, and we are affiliated with CNBC, NBC News, and Sports, where we broadcast over 5 million households in the greater Los Angeles area. If you missed our previous shows, you can watch us on our streaming networks on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick, and the Android app.
Looking to attract your target market without soliciting or doing the cold calling? Call Marie Wade and book your consultation. Branding gives you the power to create a unique and classy perception of your business for your target audience. A marketing plan without the right branding will always cost more, take longer, and tend to deliver subpar results compared to a well-branded business. Marie Wade is a branding strategist who formulates effective marketing and media programs to promote your business in building your name, brand, and legacy. Marie has over 10 years of experience and a proven record of creating strong brand content for business owners, entrepreneurs, and companies using her creative ideas, recommendations, and innovative programs. Book now at mariewade.com or call her at 951-378-5316, 951-378-5316.
This is Steve Matley. Join me every Thursday at 3 p.m. right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations Radio Talk Show. I spent decades as a professional construction manager, business owner, real estate developer, and a college educator, and I enjoy learning new things from other people. We talk a lot about real estate, business, and finance, but we cover a diverse range of other topics as well. Some of the topics we've discussed in the past few months include real estate investing, leadership, higher education, ADUs, marketing using technology, multifamily rental property, business strategy, entrepreneurship. You never know who may show up or what they may talk about. So join us right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations Radio.
Hey guys, it's Damon, Mr. Foxy, Damon Hart, and I'm here with the Real Men of Real Estate. And I just want to say, hey, come and watch us this Sunday, 1 p.m. live, every Sunday. Okay, we're going to be on KCAA Radio. 10:50 a.m., 106.5 FM. If you got a minute, just tune in. We can't wait to have you here. I'm going to be there. If you can't make it on there, we're going to be at Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, or Android app on Building Solid Foundations channel. So tune in. You know what you got to do in the meantime. Keep it fast.
All right, welcome back to the Fabulous Lifestyle Show. I'm your host, Cornelius, with my special guest, Evelyn. And before we went on the break, we were talking about the 5 love languages. And so we're going to go through each one of them one at a time. That way we can just, because our listeners say, well, what's that? Because a lot of people never heard of it. So we'll go through each one at a time and we'll touch on it. And by the way, we do have people in the audience today, because we do have a guest here watching us. And so we're trying not to look at them because there's a married couple here, and we don't want to look at them. So when we say something, we don't want to like give it away or have them think we're talking about them, or then they'll look over like, I told you that's what it was. But we're just going to keep looking like this. We're going to like pretend like they're not here. But anyways, let's go ahead. Let's go through them one at a time.
Okay, so the 5 love languages, one is quality time.
Quality time.
So that is spending time with your significant other, right? So it's as simple as, okay, let's go to the store together. We need groceries. Oh, I need to go drive somewhere. Let's talk while we're driving to this place. Let's sit down and, have dinner together and just talk. So it's just quality time is really what they're asking for, is just time with their spouse, right?
Right. So quality time is not forced time. There's a difference.
Right.
There's a difference. Like, I want you to go and that's it, but I don't want to go. So the whole time my mouth's pout at it like a child, and
right.
I'm mad, and you talk to me, I go, so that's not quality. That's not quality time. Like you said, it's simple. Going to the store or something like that. It doesn't have to be going out somewhere, extravagant or anything like that. Just like going to the store and talking and,
getting
laughing.
some coffee,
Right.
Even if it's just 15 minutes and then you go back home or you have to go to work. It's the little things, throughout the day that it counts as quality time.
Right. I know like a lot of times what we do, we'll go people watch. We're
okay.
not going to the store. We're not going nothing for nothing but just to walk. We'll walk
Like
to
at
the
the
mall or
park or the mall?
some. Yeah, we'll just walk by somebody and just people watch.
Oh, that's nice.
And I say,
yeah.
oh, what are you going to buy? Nothing. Okay, let's just get out the house. Because a lot of time when you're trapped in the house, you're trapped in your environment and the stress that goes with it. Just by, like I say, get out the house, go to the store, go to the mall, walk through and do nothing but talk and laugh and just people watch. Like, oh, look.
Right.
Okay. All right, that's good. Next.
The next one is words of affirmation.
Words, what does that mean?
So words of affirmation is giving your spouse the verbal confirmation that you see what they're doing. If they take out the trash, you say, thank you so much for taking out the trash. Even if they've been taking out the trash for 20 years, it's just, thank you for my coffee this morning. Thank you for providing for our family. Thank you for the great father that you are. So it's just really letting them know verbally that you are so thankful for what they do. Because sometimes we might think about something, we're like, oh, I'm so thankful this person does this for me, that they're always there when I need them. But if you never verbalize, they're never gonna know. So it's so important to let them know, like, thank you so much for picking me up today, when I didn't have a ride. It's really just thanking them, and saying, letting them know that how thankful you are for them.
Oh, so affirmation is different than condemnation.
Yes,
Whereas
absolutely.
As opposed to, no matter what they do, you're complaining about it, they're not doing it right. And then somebody else comes along and do it, and you, Johnny, he just so nice. Oh, he picked my groceries up for me, and he brought them in the house, or he did this for me, and he was so nice, but you do it all the time, and you're like, hey.
Right.
So that means, so over a period of time, you start to take them for granted. And so
Exactly.
they're doing all these things, like you said, they're taking out the trash, they're working, they're providing for you, they're taking care of you when you're sick, they're doing all these things, but to you, that's just what you're supposed to do.
Right, yeah.
Right.
And sometimes, there are some things that makes a marriage work or relationship, and just letting that person know that what they are doing is seen. Because there might be a million things that they do throughout the day that, you don't see that they're doing behind the scenes.
Right.
But as long as you're giving them those words of affirmation, it validates, like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. Like, I'm making them happy by always, washing her car, filling up her gas tank, when it's on low without her asking me. So it's a very, it helps with your self-esteem, your self-confidence in that relationship.
So what word was it? Affirmation? Appreciation.
Right,
Okay,
appreciation, yeah.
appreciation.
Exactly.
All right, okay.
I like that.
Next.
The next one is physical touch. So some people need like a hug in the morning, right? Or
Right.
just letting them know that their spouse is there for them. Maybe it's a kiss, a hug, holding hands. It's just letting them know, like, oh, like, I still love you. I still find you attractive. I still, you're still the one for me. It's just validating that they still love that person. And not
Right.
everyone's love language is physical touch, like all the other ones. So that's why, we're talking about these, because you have to learn what your spouse's,
Right.
or significant other's love language is.
Right.
Because everyone has different ones. Your love languages might not be your spouse's love languages. They change. They're different
Right.
for sure.
Okay. So physical touch is different than sexual touch.
Yes.
So that's what people don't realize. A lot of time when they think physical, they think that kind of physical. No. It's like you say, just holding hands and doing things like that. While you're at the mall, people watching, you're holding hands like, ha, ha.
Yeah.
Like you're young and in love for the first time, appreciation.
Yeah, like a kiss on the
Yeah.
forehead.
Yeah.
It's just like that appreciation for that person.
Right.
It's in that way.
Okay.
Okay, so acts of service.
Okay.
So did you want to add any more to the other one?
No,
Okay.
no, keep going.
So acts of service. So that's when people do things for you. So let's say you're sick in bed and someone that you love brings you breakfast in bed. It's or someone helps you clean the house.
Right.
Someone fills up your gas tank, with gas. It's the acts of service from the other person. It's like serving your significant other. So
Right.
it could be, oh, thank you for washing my clothes. Thank you for washing my car. Thank you for buying the groceries.
Right.
When we didn't have any more and I didn't have time to go buy the groceries. It's like the little things that your spouse does for you. That's how you feel appreciated.
Right. I mean, even a lot of times people don't realize the simple things is of service. Like sometimes we'll get ready to go somewhere. I'll go, babe, do you have your jacket? Oh no, it's not gonna get cold. I said, babe, we're gonna be gone for a while. Take her jacket. People say, oh, that's how you do it with a kid. No, but then you go, okay, I already know it's gonna get cold. So then you take the jacket for them.
Right.
So
yeah.
then later when it gets cold, you can tell they're cold. You go, are you cold? They go, no. Then you go, okay, here's your jacket. So those are acts of service that you're thinking
Right.
about them, even outside of what you normally would do. It's just like not going to just forget it. And
Right.
that's part of the appreciation.
Yeah, exactly. That's a
Okay.
great example.
Okay.
Acts of service. And the last one is receiving gifts.
Uh-huh.
So with this one is that when you receive a gift, it's a thought that counts. It's like, oh,
Right.
I was on their mind. They were thinking of me when they wanted to give me this gift. So it's not exactly about the materialistic things, but the fact that they thought of you. So it could be, and this one is like receiving gifts from the person that you love, because that's
Right.
when it means a lot more. When let's say you've been wanting something and they've been listening, and they get you what you've been wanting. So that's also, they've been thinking about you, they're
Right.
listening. It shows you that they love you. So it's not exactly complete like materialistic, but
Right.
it's the thought behind it, and that they're thinking about you when they're giving you the gift.
Right, because a lot of times, like you were saying, it's not the materialistic part of it, it's the thought in it.
Right.
Because some people, they'll give you a gift and you'll appreciate it for a minute, but then once you get outside or you see your friend Mary and she has a bigger, better gift, and now all of a sudden there's no appreciation. Now there's anger. Oh, I can't believe you got me this or you got me that. They're not thinking what sacrifice the person may have made for it, even though it's a lesser gift. And then on the
Right.
flip side, a lot of times somebody can get you a gift, but you don't feel worthy of it. And so that's why I say receiving and giving, that's a hand-in-hand thing.
Right.
Because you can give the best gift in the world, but if the person don't know how to receive it, then it's useless.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And so, that goes both ways. You have to know how to give and receive. Because sometimes people say, well, oh, you shouldn't have got this for me. This costs too much money. You could have did this with the money. You could have did that with the money. Or you're already struggling to pay for it. Yeah, that makes sense. But at the same time, you may say, okay, whatever I give, it's going to last forever.
Right.
And I know you've been wanting this for so long, so I'm willing to sacrifice myself or things about myself to give it to you.
Right.
So that's why I say that's the receiving part.
You have to be thankful, instead
Right.
of saying like, with this money you could have saved it and done this. It's like
Right,
that's not the
right.
way to receive a gift. When
Right.
someone gives you a gift, you say thank you. You say how thankful you are. Hopefully
Right.
it's something that you want, that you
Right,
wanted.
right.
But yeah, it's important also to receive a gift, because then the person who gave you the gift, they're gonna be like, oh, you don't want this? Like I spent a lot
Right.
of money on this,
Right, right.
or there has to be like a complaint attached to it, which no one wants to
Right.
give a gift with with the other person complaining about
Right.
it in any form.
Right, or even a lot of thought. So all those times we talk and all that stuff, and you're doing stuff, and you're giving me these signals, and then, I get you what you want because I thought about it. It wasn't just like, some people do. I'm just gonna get this just to shut her up.
Right.
That
We don't want that.
mindset, that attitude. But you really took time to think about what they like, and you went places and you ask about things like, wow, what do you think about that? And they be like, oh no, I don't like that. What do you think? Oh yeah, I like that. Oh yeah. Then they, oh man, that is gorgeous or whatever.
Right.
So now that's the one, the gorgeous, because they emphasize it. And so now
Exactly.
you know what they want.
Yeah, and it could be maybe they love brownies. You make
Yeah.
them brownies, or they love, macaroni and cheese for dinner.
Right.
So it's like those gifts that it doesn't have to be like a whole bunch of money that you spend on it. It could be
Right.
simple things. Maybe they just want like a bracelet that they've been wanting.
Right. See, even like now, I'm hungry. I haven't ate, so that macaroni and cheese and brownie sounding good to me.
Right. That does sound good.
Yeah. So you know what? Matter of fact, speaking of macaroni and cheese and brownie, we're gonna close off our last thing. We're gonna talk a little bit about food. And so on the other side of this, we're gonna talk about food. We'll be back in a minute. Thanks.
You're listening to Fabulous Lifestyle Radio. I'm your host, Ricky Perry, and we are affiliated with CNBC, NBC News, and Sports, where we broadcast to over 5 million households in the greater Los Angeles area. If you missed our previous shows, you can watch us on our streaming networks on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick, and the Android app.
Looking to attract your target market without soliciting or doing the cold calling? Call Marie Waite and book your consultation. Branding gives you the power to create a unique and classy perception of your business for your target audience. A marketing plan without the right branding will always cost more, take longer, and tend to deliver subpar results compared to a well-branded business. Marie Waite is a branding strategist who formulates effective marketing and media programs to promote your business in building your name, brand, and legacy. Marie has over 10 years of experience and a proven record of creating strong brand content for business owners, entrepreneurs, and companies using her creative ideas, recommendations, and innovative programs. Book now at mariewaite.com or call her at 951-378-5316, 951-378-5316.
This is Steve Matley. Join me every Thursday at 3 p.m. right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations Radio Talk Show. I spent decades as a professional construction manager, business owner, real estate developer, and a college educator, and I enjoy learning new things from other people. We talk a lot about real estate, business, and finance, but we cover a diverse range of other topics as well. Some of the topics we've discussed in the past few months include real estate investing, leadership, higher education, ADUs, marketing using technology, multifamily rental property, business strategy, entrepreneurship. You never know who may show up or what they may talk about. So join me right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations Radio.
Hey guys, it's Damon, Mr. Foxy, Damon Hart, and I'm here with the Real Men of Real Estate. And I just want to say, hey, come and watch us this Sunday, 1 p.m. live, every Sunday. Okay, we're going to be on KCAA Radio. 10:50 a.m., 106.5 FM. If you got a minute, just tune in. We can't wait to have you here. I'm going to be there. If you can't make it on there, we're going to be at Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, or Android app on Building Solid Foundations channel. So tune in. You know what you got to do in the meantime. Keep it fast.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. It's the Fabulous Lifestyle Show. So we've talked about all those things, but you know what? Let's talk about food, because food, on Valentine's Day, restaurants see a 74% increase in business. So that means that people on Valentine's Day go to restaurants more. They go out to delivery places more, and they have food delivered to them more. So, on Valentine's Day, seems like if no other day, that we're really eating well on Valentine's Day.
Yes.
And they sell the most chocolate on Valentine's Day. So we're still doing what we do. We're trying to, I know I I didn't do well yesterday or something, so here I'm gonna take you out to dinner. You know, I'm gonna buy you chocolates and stuff. And so for that day, you go back to somewhat being romantic, or then you go sit across the table and you look at each other's eyes. Oh, you know, then you do something special. Oh, what do you want to eat? So now we're gonna have steak and shrimp today, something special, so it increases it. And it's something about when you eat together, especially in that setting, it's almost like bonds you together, brings you together closer. Because now you're eating and you're looking at each other.
Your happy chemicals are going, you know, because you're excited about the food and you're with your loved one. So
right. What are those called? Hormones, or not, whatever it's called.
Yeah, there is a word for that.
Yeah. Huh? Endorphins. Thank you, Joe. Our engineer, Joe. He told us. Thanks, Joe. Endorphins. See? Yeah, and your endorphins are going, and that's similar to when you do certain drugs. Your endorphins go.
Or even when you exercise.
Right. And so look. So you're just getting on the good foot with them, and you're really doing well. And you know, for that time period, you can escape whatever your normal life stress or whatever. And, you know, let your endorphins flow, eat, like you was talking about the macaroni and cheese, the brownies, you know, tormenting us because we haven't ate and all that stuff. But you know what? A lot of times, guys, they want to do these things for their woman, but they don't necessarily know how, or they don't know where to go. Or, you know, they goes, oh, well, you know, I'm just a guy. All I know how to do is eat sandwiches. It's like an excuse,
like, oh, I'm a guy, I don't have to learn or...
Right, you know, it's an excuse to a degree because they don't learn. But yet, like we always talk about a mindset, a mental state. So mentally, they want to do it, they can afford to do it, but they just don't know how to do it. They're like, you know,
the resources are not there, and they don't know where to start looking.
Right. So that's where we come in at. That's where we can help you. Okay, we teach you all those things. We're going to teach you how to dress. We'll teach you how to eat, how to handle all your utensils. We'll teach you where to go and what to use it. And so that's what we're here for. So guys and girls, even if you have, what do you call it, a galation?
Galentine's.
Even if you're having a galentine and you want to press the other girls.
Or if you know you have brothers or people in your life that can benefit from learning etiquette.
Right. Well, everybody can benefit it. See, because what people, they always think etiquette, they just think about eating alone, but it's not that.
Right.
It's the whole thing. We'll put you together as a package. You'll go
like
out
a
there.
lost skill.
Right. You'll go out there and you'll be like, and your wife will look at you or whoever will look at you, they'll be like, wow. And before she just like brush you off, and then she'll tell you, oh, now she want to grab your arm. Oh, come here. You know, you looking like this. Why don't you just like this all the time? But we can help you. We can be reached at area code 951-238-4720. Or you can email us at Cornelius@therenaissanceman.com. Cornelius@therenaissanceman.com. RenaissanceManES.com. Thank you for correcting me, Evelyn. Yes. But if you call that number, you can get a hold of us. All right, we're almost winding down. Well, thank you for coming. It's been a joy to have you here. And matter of fact, we'll be back next month, the first week in March, the first Sunday in March, we'll be back. You say, well, when you come back, what are you going to talk about? Well, if you join us, you'll find out. Right? All right. Thank you, guys. Everybody have a good day. Remember, enjoy yourself, enjoy your friends.
You're listening to KCAA, your good neighbor along the way.
And now, the voices of KCAA with an exciting announcement.
Want to hear NBC News or KCAA anywhere you go? Well, now there's an app for that.
KCAA is celebrating 25 years and our silver anniversary with a brand